Ryan Reynolds is now caught talking about staring at a stranger who was feeding their baby.
I just kept on staring and staring and staring, and then I just kind of got locked into that like a time warp.
And it sounds so bad given Blake's complaint now. I can't even. This isn't a funny joke if you find it so sensitive when it happens to your wife. It's not funny, Ryan. This whole thing was nuts. Nothing Blake's accusing Justin of was even that bad.
The one about, he burst in on me uninvited when I was breastfeeding my child. She says we should run lines together. He's like, anytime. And she's like, come on over. I'm breastfeeding the baby in the trailer, but come on over.
What happens when Hollywood's golden couple gets caught in a scandal so messy it threatens to torch their entire empire? Ryan Reynolds and Blake Lively, the duo everyone adored, are now tangled in a web of lawsuits, hypocrisy, and betrayal that's got the internet buzzing and Tinseltown turning its back. This isn't just another celebrity spat. It's a drama packed with leaked texts, courtroom showdowns, and a hypocrisy twist that'll leave you stunned. Let's dive into the chaos that's rocking their world as of March 15th, 2025.
She invited him in, and a lot of women are comfortable having someone around when they breastfeed, so it's not so weird, especially out in Hollywood, for him to assume, yeah, I guess she's fine with this because she did let him in. Ryan Reynolds comes off terribly.
Caught me staring, and I didn't know what the appropriate facial expression was for that, so I just kept on staring and staring and staring, and then I just kind of got locked into that like a time warp. And
that video is a response to a question a fan had asked Ryan Reynolds, asking, if you had a time machine, which historical event would you like to go back in time to witness?
It all kicked off in December 2024 when Blake Lively dropped a bombshell lawsuit against her It Ends With Us co-star and director, Justin Baldoni. She claimed he sexually harassed her on set, pointing to one moment that set the internet ablaze. Blake said Baldoni barged into her trailer uninvited while she was breastfeeding her kid, humiliating her and making her feel unsafe. She painted it as a predatory move, something no woman should endure, especially not a new mom. Baldoni fired back with a $400 million countersuit, calling it a lie and accusing her of orchestrating a smear campaign with her husband Ryan's help.
Now Ryan Reynolds can go do this as the time event he wants to go back and revisit when he stared at a stranger doing the same thing.
Wants to sue. Yeah, she says that's sexual harassment. Pick one. Would you like this woman to come back in time and sue you now? Or is your wife being ridiculous? Tell us which one is fact.
But Ryan Reynolds, one of the things he allegedly exploded on Justin Baldoni over was alleged fat shaming of Blake, because I guess when she was shooting this movie, she was postpartum.
The breastfeeding story? Blake invited him in, texts later revealed, to run lines while she nursed. Hardly the intruder scenario she sold, but that wasn't the whole story. Here's where it gets wild. Ryan Reynolds, the doting husband, went full attack mode on Baldoni, slamming him publicly and privately for crossing a line. No man, he said, should invade a woman's privacy like that, especially not his wife's.
Blake Lively mad at James Heath for looking at her and staring at her in the eyes, directly at her while she was blank, getting ready to feed her baby. All this is the complaint that was made, which she later says, I don't think you were trying to cop a look, but whatever. This whole complaint about he was there uncomfortably while she was pumping. It's insane.
Sounds noble, right? Except Ryan's got a skeleton in his closet that's now rattling loud. Back in 2016, on national TV, he bragged about staring at a stranger breastfeeding in a hotel lobby. Not a quick glance. Minutes of locked-in eye contact, leaving her squirming while he cracked jokes about being stuck in a time warp. He laughed it off like a quirky anecdote, but flipped the script. If Baldoni did that, Blake would have called it harassment. So why's Ryan acting like he's above the same rules he's enforcing? The hypocrisy's so thick you could cut it with a knife.
It's insane, but now Ryan Reynolds can go do this as the time event he wants to go back and revisit when he stared at a stranger doing the same thing.
Assistant, while Lively is having body makeup removed, she was not topless as she claimed in her complaint. She was either nursing or pumping while fully clothed. Lively asked Heath to face the wall while they determined a time to meet with the other producers, who were standing just outside the door. Weeks later, on June 1st, 2023, Lively accuses Heath of making eye contact with her while she had asked him to face the wall.
And it doesn't stop there. Leaked texts from the It Ends With Us show Ryan spiraling into control freak territory. He was obsessed with keeping Blake close. Too close. When her filming schedule clashed with his Deadpool and Wolverine gig, he didn't just ask Baldoni to tweak it. He begged, guilt-tripped, and even offered to tattoo his perineum. That's right, the spot between his junk and backside, if Baldoni caved. Who does that? It's not quirky, it's unhinged. He wasn't just supporting his wife, he was micromanaging her career, her set time, her everything. And when bad press hit Blake for half-hearted promo, Ryan allegedly drafted a fake apology for Baldoni's team to sign, pinning the movie's woes on them. They refused. And that's when the clause really came out. But what happened next would shock everyone.
I would like to get that woman some fucking compensation. It's okay when you do it. It's a problem when other people do it.
Mm-hmm.
Interesting. You just stood there and stared because you didn't know what to do. You're a grown man. You're a married man. You're a father. You've seen a woman breastfeeding before. Why were you staring at this woman? Here your wife is saying she asked somebody to look at the wall because she was pumping or nursing or whatever.
This isn't a funny joke if you find it so sensitive when it happens to your wife. It's not funny, Ryan.
But she wants to sue. Yeah, she says that's sexual harassment.
Hollywood started peeling away like a bad sunburn. Taylor Swift, Blake's BFF for years, went radio silent. Why? Baldoni's team planned to subpoena her, claiming Blake leveraged Taylor's name to muscle industry players without her consent. Sources say Swift was blindsided and furious, ditching the drama faster than you can say bad blood. Then there's Brandon Sklenar, Blake's co-star. He dodged every question about the lawsuit, leaving her hanging when loyalty mattered most. The real gut punch? At the 2025 Oscars, Ryan's Dancing Deadpool cameo got 0 claps. Dead silence. The crowd that once cheered his every wink now stared through him. It wasn't just awkward, it was a warning. And the hits kept coming.
Ryan Reynolds comes off terribly. He had them over to their penthouse in New York, and Taylor Swift was believed to be there, according to this latest complaint. Blake personally, with Ryan's help, rewrote scenes, again, not within the purview of an actress. And then after that, they have text messages in which Blake tells Justin, this is in the latest lawsuit, you know, I know you've never watched Game of Thrones, but when you get around to watching it, you'll realize I'm Khaleesi, Justin Baldoni, before this whole thing. I mean, who the hell is he? I guess he's in some small thing I never saw, but she's saying, F with me and we'll crush you. My dragons and I, the biggest movie star, one of them in the planet, the biggest pop star in the planet, and I will hurt you unless I get my way. So
fast forward to March 2025. Blake scored a courtroom win, snagging a protective order to shield private texts from Baldoni's team. She argued he'd leak stuff like her medical records or chats with Ryan to smear her more. Baldoni's camp shot back, calling her claims overblown and pointing to her own media stunts, like Ryan's SNL skit mocking the mess. Meanwhile, whispers grew louder. Ryan's aviation gin got swapped for Paul Feig's brand in a Blake-led flick. A small move, sure, but in Hollywood, branding's king. Losing that plug? It's a sign the industry's pulling back, and fast. The power couple's grip was slipping, but the public wasn't done with them yet.
And now he's going full Johnny Depp on her to show that she was the bully, she was the one harassing him, and this guy who had, comparatively very little power was forced now to come out and tell the truth about Blake Lively. Blake Lively and getting hired again because all of her diva antics are coming out and the way she behaves behind the scenes. And now this with the lawsuit and the New York Times thing, because she's now filed against him as well. So it's a terrible move by her and them PR-wise. Well, now they've produced the text messages, Baldoni and team, in this latest lawsuit against her showing Justin being like, don't worry about any of that. We can shoot any scenes that require, exposure toward the end of the movie when, you feel better about things. This is the last thing you should have to worry about.
The internet erupted, and not in their favor. People started digging, connecting dots, and calling out the double standards. Blake's crusade over eye contact harassment, like accusing producer Jamie Heath of glancing at her while she pumped milk, looked flimsy next to Ryan's lobby stare down. Fans turned skeptics, tweeting stuff like, if Ryan can joke about it, why's Blake suing? Others pointed to those texts, painting Ryan as a puppet master who'd rather bully than back off. Their perfect image, him the snarky everyman, her the poised queen, cracked wide open. Even comics like Chelsea Handler piled on, mocking Blake's bogus claims. The backlash wasn't just noise, it was a tidal wave, and their A-list allies were swimming away.
Look who's here at the Oscars last night, Deadpool!
Someone who's not even nominated, Dancing Deadpool!
No one even clapped.
What?
No one even clapped. No one even clapped when Dancing Dead. And interestingly enough, they did clap when a sandworm playing the piano came in. Playing chopsticks. Because that was kind of funny. Why was there a dancing Deadpool? Look, I liked Conan last night. That was probably the worst joke of the night.
You're very supportive over your female co-stars as well. Yeah. Blake Lively, how are you hoping to support her during this time?
I mean, I just, it's a tough situation, and
No, it's not.
So, where's this headed? Some say Blake and Ryan are on a crash course for a Johnny Depp-level reckoning. Baldoni's team promises more leaks to prove she's the real bully. Others whisper they're scrambling to settle before the March 2026 trial buries them deeper. Hollywood's a fickle beast. Profit trumps loyalty every time. If the public keeps souring, those brand deals, co-star nods, and red carpet invites could dry up for good. Could this be the scandal that dethrones them, or will they spin it back into gold? One thing's clear, the masks are off and the world's watching.
Bro, you look awful. You're not getting favors from either side at this point, I imagine. You're only digging yourself a hole.
With actors.
Right.
And I'll never forget being privy to this movie and going, I can't believe this guy. We had so much hope for this guy. He's going nowhere.
And she said, I remember this interview from 10 years ago.
Yes, Liz Plank, who was Justin Baldoni's co-host on their podcast, Man Enough. The same Liz Plank that jumped ship just a few days after Blake Lively filed her legal complaint against Justin Baldoni. Not only did Liz Plank post this photo in 2019, thanking Ryan freaking Reynolds.
This whole saga's a roller coaster of contradictions. Blake's victim card, Ryan's two-faced outrage, and a Hollywood elite quietly stepping back. It's not just about who's right or wrong anymore, it's about what happens when untouchable stars get caught in their own game. Will they claw their way out, or has the curtain finally dropped on their reign? Stick around. This drama's far from over, and the next twist might just blow your mind.